In a world where banking increasingly is becoming digital, the challenge is not just to innovate, but to do so securely and also at scale. Our next segment is a spotlight interview that takes us right to the heart of transformation agenda, building secure, scalable banking systems, and sharing his perspective on how financial institutions can leapfrog into a future-ready, intelligent ecosystem. We are joined by the visionary Vishnu Dusad, Managing Director and co-founder, Nucleus Software. And to take this special conversation forward, may I invite again Ritu Singh back on stage.
Thank you, Mugdha. Thank you, Mr. Dusad. Well, it's a pleasure to have you back here on stage with us at this third season of the Banking Transformation Summit. Let me start by asking two very used and abused words in banking, scalable and secure. Let's start by saying, sometimes do you think they can be at odds? And how well are banks really balancing this scalability and security at the same time?
Banking is all about trust. And if we do not secure, then there is no banking for that matter, no money business. So it is extremely important that we continue to provide a very strong foundation of security. And on top of that foundation, we build the scale.
Yeah.
Which is what we have done, and we've been talking about these numbers the whole of this evening. It is a matter of immense pride for us as a nation that we are transacting 20 billion transactions, 2,000 crore transactions in a month.
Yeah.
And that has been possible because of these fundamentals that we have in a way taken care of. And there is, of course, there is some scope for us to improve it further.
All right, let's talk about security, because as the Deputy Governor was highlighting, the panelists after that has become a big concern is, fintechs are expanding, banks are expanding. Tell us how well banks, especially legacy banks and NBFCs, are using AI to counter this, smarter fraud that's emerging on the other side.
AI is just getting explored, I would say, and explored in a reasonable manner to identify the trends, the risky trends, not so risky trends, and then proactively go after those trends. So, for example, let's say we were talking about, the Deputy Governor was talking about how, some of the speakers were talking about how some frauds are happening in a specific manner.
It's become much easier to,
It has become much easier.
hack systems.
So it's only through artificial intelligence that you can identify those trends and, proactively go after those prospecting mule accounts, as we were looking at it. Someone creating a account as a TCS employee and then depositing the salary for 7 months and then going rogue.
Yeah.
So those identifications, we will be able to look at the pattern of such an first such account and then scan the entire database to identify how many similar situations could be happening. And of course, all of them would not happen. But again, you will have an opportunity to proactively check out whether there is a possibility of a fraud happening.
But, since you have an overview of this sector, I just wanted to understand to what extent is AI being used? The Deputy Governor again gave us some interesting statistics that 3/4 of the banks in their annual reports talk about adopting AI. But is it going beyond customer chatbots? To what extent is it being adopted?
I think, as at this moment in 2025, we have been, trying with, we have been experimenting with customer communication and so on. It is going to take some more time because of few challenges that are there. We all know about hallucinations and so on and so forth. So till the time those kind of challenges are addressed, we may not be able to use artificial intelligence to completely hand over the responsibility to the agents and do away with human beings.
Of course, the decision making has to be by humans, but the assistance is from AI. But you know, when we're talking about expanding the system as well, millions of new people coming into the banking fold, hopefully into the formal financial system, what kind of infrastructure strengthening is required to be able to deal with that kind of capacity, and what kind of investments in technology are banks really making?
Okay. You know, we've all heard about $3 trillion and by 2030 and those crazy numbers. 300 billion being committed by only one player. So I think the investments in artificial intelligence are going to be of very different kind. We all are aware how many data centers would be required and what sort of electricity they will consume and so on and so forth. So banks will have to be very careful about where do they want to experiment and what is the ROI that they would want to generate. And today, the way I look at it, and I could be excessively conservative about it, today I'm visualizing that it's going to take us in India 3 to 5 years before we can say that, okay, artificial intelligence has taken off in a substantial way. So investments are going to be substantial kind. Just the way we are going on cloud and then coming back on-premise, some of us. In a similar manner, we may experiment with AI on the large models, and then we may decide to come back on a smaller scale.
So that's on the AI adoptability. What about the infrastructure readiness? As I said, what kind of changes or investments are required to make sure that banks are ready to cater to the next 100 million, 10 million that keep coming in year after year?
Okay. The way we will have to look at this is the new infrastructure will have to be very composable. And we have, a large number of banks have today infrastructure which is in some manner outdated. So banks will have to get into hollowing the score. Banks will have to get into, components which they would be able to put to use in the form of APIs and make sure that the latest technologies and the old data is put to use meaningfully.
Let me actually step back and ask you how you're helping banks. When we're talking about traditional legacy banks modernizing their systems, how can you at Nucleus help them do it? Just give us a glimpse of what it is you provide in services for banks.
We provide exactly the same thing that I've just talked about. Banks need to modernize. They need to modernize in a substantial way, and they need to get cloud native. They need to have API specific infrastructure, and that is what we provide. We have been investing in our software for last decade and a half, and it is the latest architecture that we have invested in, and that is what we help banks do without any risk to their existing operations. We are able to help them modernize without any risk, thanks to the nearly 4 decades of experience that we have.
Well, if I were to ask you, though, to still list down 2 to 3 challenges that you see banks still coping with, when they're looking at modernizing their systems, what would those be?
I think these are essentially the kind of challenges that they need to address. If you are trying to replace the existing infrastructure, then it is going to be very, very risky. So you need to go step by step. You need to make sure that your current operations are not getting affected, and at the same time you are modernizing. So that is, and for that you need to go with a player who has done it, who has done it multiple times, and that's where a player like Nucleus Software comes in.
Well, could you list down maybe the top 2 to 3 technologies that you are most excited about that can bring about a meaningful change in the way we look at banking in India today?
Artificial intelligence is,
of course, no
is
doubt.
number one. I think the reason I'm particularly excited about it is the hyper-personalization that is required by us in Bharat would be possible only through artificial intelligence.
Okay.
We would be able to cater to very specific needs, almost at an individual level. You know, today, when a bank creates a product, it is for a segment. And segments are, you know, they would service, they would help you, but I may have a situation where instead of equated monthly installment, I may want to, I may be in a position to do equated daily installment.
EDIs.
EDI.
Yeah.
Instead of EMI, EDI. And that is where, you know, things like technologies like artificial intelligence are going to help.
Okay.
And it will be possible for us to go to the, you know, the bottom of the pyramid. You know, we're talking about at least 300 million people who have not been serviced.
Yeah.
And that is where these technologies would be of immense value.
Well, on that note, Mr. Dusad, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ritu.
Thank you.